Hi everybody, this is Teacher Karis. I'll be sharing a series of videos on word problems that my students often find challenging. And today our focus will be on BCA, also known as before, change, and after. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so let's read the question. Michael had 4 times as many marbles as Derek. After Michael gave away 237 marbles and Derek gave away 48 marbles, they had the same number of marbles left. How many marbles did Michael have at first? All right, so let's try to break down the question. First of all, we notice in the first clue, Michael has been compared to Derek. So this is our first comparison. Now, next, we will notice that Michael gave away 237 marbles and Derek gave away 48 marbles. So this is our change that took place. And eventually, they have a final comparison here, whereby both of them have the same number of marbles left. So very importantly, also find out what you need to solve the question, which is to indicate what Michael have at first. Now, to solve the question, we will actually start off with a model. So I will have Michael compared to Derek at first. Okay, and we know that Michael is having 4 times as many marbles as Derek, so which also means that Michael will have 4 units while Derek has 1. So I will draw and indicating the equal parts over here. Right. Now, I'll be using another color to indicate the change that took place and also eventually what's the outcome. Now, in the change here, you notice that Michael gave away 237 marbles. Based on what I have over here, it's a little harder for me to ascertain or rather to decide where 237 could be. So I'm just going to park it here first and work on Derek to see if it can help me with my drawing for Michael. So looking at what Derek is giving away, he gave away 48. So now to give away 48, right, it also means that it could be any part within this bar itself. So I will just cut over here and write down 48. Now, you may wonder, should I make it bigger or smaller? It really doesn't matter. But more importantly is try not to cut this into half, because when you do that, right, it also gives a false impression that it might be equal. So it really doesn't matter if you cut this slightly bigger or even shorter, it's fine, all right? Now, so given that this is drawn already, we also did the similar thing to Michael over here, monkey see, monkey do, all right? So this will also have a 48 over here for this unit. Now, with this drawn, you will notice that now I'm able to tell where my 237 could be, because at the end, both of them should be the same. So if this is what's the end, it also tells us that these are the parts that has been taken away. 237 will be from here to here. Okay, now with this in place, we are ready to solve the question. But before that, let's also find out what we have to find. Michael at first. So it also means that we need to be finding this in the end. This is our end in mind. Okay, so to solve your question, now we can see from here that this 48 together with the 3 units at the beginning gives us 237. So which also means when I take 237 minus 48, which is 189, it also represents the 3 units here. So 3 units is actually equals to 189. So with that, we can try to find out what 1 unit could be by taking this divided by 3. And that should give us a value of 63. So now we know that this is 63 for each unit here. Also here as well. So in order to find out what Michael had at first, now we can do a few things. Number 1, we can also take 63 plus 189. Which will give us 252. So that's one way in how we can find Michael at first. Or we can also use 4 times the unit that we have found, which is 63. So in other words, we find 4 units here. So we take 4 times 63, and that should also give us 252. So again, this is a choice whereby you can actually use one way to get this value and the second way to check whether if you get a similar answer, so that you are sure that your answer is actually quite accurate using 2 different ways of getting to the final outcome. Okay, so I'm going to indicate over here as well. Thank you for watching. I hope the video has been useful for you. For my students, do remember to practice more of such question types with the worksheets I've given you. And remember, clarity builds confidence. I will see you in the next one.